Hey, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about 9 mistakes you must avoid making in Wrath of the Lich King Classic. But first, we are doing a special Wrath of the Lich King beta key giveaway soon. So if you want to be entered for a chance to win, make sure you like this video and you are subscribed to the channel for when we start giving them away to subscribers only. All right, let's get started. The last tip is my personal favorite, but the first mistake you should avoid making in Wrath of the Lich King is choosing alliance on a horde dominated server, or vice versa, choosing a dead server as well. Basically, you should do a little bit of research, figure out what server is what. For example, Benediction is super alliance dominated. If you want to make a horde character there, you're probably not going to have a good time because it's also a PvP server. You're going to be ganked. There's not going to be a lot of horde. Putting a group together is going to be impossible. The same goes for a dead server. You go on a dead server, you're not going to find a ZF group. You're not going to get your carrot on a stick. You're not going to be able to do very much. I haven't personally played on a dead server because I'm out of there, right? Horde, I originally played on there. It was pretty even, and then Horde started to dominate. It was unplayable. Why even play as an alliance on Horde? It didn't even make any sense. So transferred over to Benediction. Here I am, alliance dominated. There's groups popping all the time. You can find what you want to do the content. It's great. So do a little bit of research, find out what server. I know Faralina is heavily horde dominated, so if you want to make a horde, you can go over there. Mancrick is for the horde, etc. Do just a little bit of research, avoid the dead servers. I mean, it's sad to say, but this is the current state of the game. You're going to want to find the right server for you, whether you're going to play horde or alliance, and make sure you don't end up on a dead server. All right, number two, not accumulating enough gold. There are huge expenses in Wrath. You got the mammoth, that's 20k. The motorcycle, you want the motorcycle? That's probably gonna be 10 to 15k. If you're gonna put that together, you're gonna buy it from an engineer. Dual specs, another grand. Cold weather flying is another K. You want that dalaran teleport ring? That's gonna cost you 8,000 gold. It's basically an extra Hearthstone, brings you to dalaran. Item level's not too shabby either, so you could use that. It's a ton of expense. I mean, if we add these up, there's what, 20, 30, 30,000, like this is about 40,000 gold you're gonna want saved up just for some of these initial expenses. That's not even including power leveling your professions. You're going into Wrath, you're like, I'm gonna be an engineer, blacksmith. Oh, I don't have mining, I'm gonna buy all the materials. Yeah, you better have a lot of gold ready for that. So tip number two, mistake number two you want to avoid is not accumulating enough gold while you have the chance. There's a ton of expenses in Wrath, so there's never such thing as too much gold in Wrath of the Lich King. All right, number three, not knowing how to farm gold in Wrath of the Lich King. There are tons of ways. I'll make some videos, subscribe below so you don't miss them. There are farming Eternals, grinding dailies, do quests at max level, use your gathering professions, whether that's herbalism or mining or skinning. Go around, spend some time gathering some materials, throw them on the auction house. That does super well. You could also just flip stuff on the auction house. Go on the auction house, find some items that are selling well. You know, do the saronite shuffle. That's basically going buying some saronite. Or you're a jewel crafter, you go prospect it, find the gems. You're also an alchemist, you cut the metas. Oh dude, it's amazing gold, right? Look up saronite shuffle. It's super straightforward. You can absolutely make a ton of gold that way. So whatever method you want to use for Wrath of the Lich King, you know, find something you enjoy, find something that you can do, you know, consistently. For me, I actually just like leveling alts. You know, I find the white items, you know, the stuff you can use for crafting, etc. Just throw that stuff on the auction house. It's fun for me. I like leveling new characters. It's a perfect way for me to make some gold. You know, there you go. Everyone find their own personal thing. So know how to farm gold in Wrath of the Lich King. It's going to be useful for that constant stream. You know, if you want to make an alt character, you got to go through, buy epic flying again, cold weather flying, dual spec, etc. And you know, there you go. You're going to need a lot of gold for that. All right, number four is super important, and that is expecting all raids to be super easy in Wrath. Now, a lot of people coming from Sunwell Plateau, you know, it was super hard, and now you're coming into Wrath. You roll up into Naxx and you're like, this is easy. This is the easiest raid I've ever done. And yeah, you know, some of these early raids are super easy. I totally agree. But, you know, as the game progresses and more phases unlock, it's kind of like that wake up call when we got pre-nerf SSC and TK back in TBC, and like half the guilds couldn't even kill Kel'Thas and Lady Vash, and so it was like, oh, guild breaker all of a sudden, right? Well, Wrath has a similar element, right? Once Ulduar and Heroic ICC are available, you're going to start seeing the difficulty ramp up, you know, and be a bunch harder. So just be prepared for that. Be prepared, you know, if your guild is casual, just be ready for like, oh, this might hurt my guild. This might tear my guild apart. let's just make a vow right now. We aren't going to, you know, tear apart over this. I don't know. Just be prepared for it. Have that expectation that, you know, even though raids are going to be easy at first, they're going to get harder over time. So just having that mental expectation. All right, number six, super important. One of the most important tips that I went through right now, and that is choosing the wrong specialization. Now, what do I mean? Well, some specializations kind of suck at PvP, right? You like, I want to be a prot paladin and I want to do arena. Well, that's not going to go so well. You know, if you want to be a blood DK in arena, the same situation. Holy priest. There are just certain specializations that aren't that great in PvP. Now, if you look at, you know, some of the tier lists I've done or other people, you can look at other people's tier lists too. They're pretty similar. And it's all going to show that some specializations are better than others. But what's interesting is that pretty much all classes are viable. That's what's really cool about Wrath of the Lich King. Pretty much every class has like at least one good PvP spec and one good PvE spec. So if you want to do PvP or PvE, you're set. And so Wrath of the Lich King is an awesome expansion for that reason. So do a little bit of research and see what of the good classes and specializations are for what you want to do. And then just kind of make your choice, right? Make sure it's something you want to enjoy, right? As well as is somewhat suited for the content you want to go after. So do a little bit of research. You'll find something that lines up for you. All right, tip number 7 is choosing the wrong race or wrong faction. Like if you want to PvP, you should probably go human, you know? I would say you'll really regret it if you're getting serious about PvP and arena, and then you turn around, you know, you got all the gear, and then you're just not the best PvP race for your faction, you know? It's going to be in the back of your head like, oh, I wish I would have just rolled human, but I'm already geared up. I already spent all this time farming battlegrounds, doing my arena every week, and then here I am like the wrong race, right? The wrong faction. You know, speaking of faction, make sure you choose the right one. Again, kind of depends on what server you're on and what server you want to make on and what your goals are for the expansion, honestly. But just make sure it all aligns. Do a little bit of research beforehand. Have a plan going into Wrath of the Lich King. All right, tip number 8. This one's also super important, and that is choosing the wrong profession. You do not want to choose the wrong profession. That is a mistake. Profession bonuses are amazing in Wrath of the Lich King. Whether you want to go herbalism for that self-heal, you want to go alchemy for the flask duration increase, increased resistances, HP, all that good stuff. You want that 60 stamina from mining, whatever. You know, most people are probably going to go engineering because it's widely accepted as the best profession because you get move speed, you get haste, you get the rocket mounted pyro rocket on your hand, which is 2k fire damage. You got the cobalt frag bomb belt. I mean, it's just so good, right? So just know what profession is best. I also have a profession guide on my channel, which is awesome. You should totally check that out. Goes through each of the profession bonuses, and honestly, it really should make your decision much easier on which one to go. Now, just have a plan beforehand, know which profession you want to go, because you really don't want to max out your profession and then realize, oops, I went the wrong one. And so that is my tip for you. Don't choose the wrong profession, especially since a lot of the recipes are unlocked through daily quests, whether that's jewel crafting or cooking. It takes a lot of time. It's time gated to unlock everything. Just imagine you level up jewel crafting, get all those recipes, and then you're like, actually, I don't want to be a jewel crafter on this character. That's the situation you want to avoid. I actually got a bonus tip for you. This one's 8.5. Know how to gear your character. You know, this actually came into my head because I was running around in the sewers of Dalaran, you know, typical Sunday, you know, like, oh, how's it going, guys? And I just saw this Retribution Paladin rolling around in, like, Holy Paladin gear. And I'm just like, what? Is this some type of new specialization going on? I thought it was hilarious. They had a ton of spell power. I wanted to duel them because I was like, is this actually real? Is this good? Is this legit? They were doing no damage. Like, their physical hits were nothing. So just kind of know what gear and what stats you should go for. Of course, it was a rat paladin, right? You should go for on your gear, right? Like you shouldn't be rolling around with a ton of spell power if you're like a melee class, right? Or if you're a tank, make sure you're defense capped, right? Just know what your stats are. What should you primarily go after, whether that's stamina or attack power or spell damage. Just kind of know for your class. And it's pretty basic, but some people, you know, don't do that. And you know, dude, I remember in TBC, dude had a meta gem, didn't have like the 2 blue sockets, so he wasn't getting the meta gem bonus. So just know, like, yeah, this meta gem requires blue gems in order for it to function. That guy was in my raid. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm raiding with a Nublar. But just know a little bit about how to gear your character. It's a basic tip, but it's a mistake you don't want to make. And finally, my favorite tip, number 9, mistake number 9 is not playing to have fun. You know, at the end of the day, guys, it's just a game. It's meant to be enjoyed. So, just have fun, play the class you want to play. Don't forget, it's just a game. Enjoy. Find the content you want to do that's enjoyable to you, whether that's leveling a new character, raiding and completing dungeons with a group of friends, progression, whatever it is, man. Just find your thing and enjoy Wrath of the Lich King Classic. And that's really the biggest mistake in my mind, is not playing to have fun. So I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give it a like and subscribe for more. My name's Toyhouze, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.